Hello, my name is Ali,
My name is Justin.
and today we're going to interview.
Hi, my name is Tracy Newman, and I'm a social studies teacher.
The first question we have for you is, how has your environment affected your political socialization?
When I think about my environment, my first thought is my family. So my first engagement in my political environment, my thoughts and my ideologies came from my parents. And so having dinner with them and watching the news with them influenced my thinking about politics and paying attention to what's happening in the community.
All right. Next question. Can you think of an instance where you felt the government overstepped its boundaries in regulated daily life, or controversial where it failed to step in and protect people?
Ooh, yes. I think most recently with the Supreme Court and their ruling about redistricting and how that is going to impact voters, especially as well as not only the voters who come to the polls in local neighborhoods, but also representation. So looking at the decision from the court and how that's going to impact future voting for citizens and the election of candidates when it comes to state level as well as national level.
In your opinion, is it more important for the government to pursue individual liberty or promote equality?
If I had to pick one, my first choice would be liberty. I think that when we look at the Bill of Rights, it's so important that we exercise our rights, but also the government is limited and they protect us so that we do have rights. So I would always say liberty first over equality or equity, because I think you cannot move in our society if you don't know your rights and how to protect your rights, who can help you protect those rights, and how the government is limited.
Where do you primarily get your news, and how do you decide which source of political information are trustworthy?
I have changed over the years. I was an avid reader of a paper newspaper, and then I always watched the news in the evenings while I'm eating dinner. I can say that now social media has actually helped me with kind of steering like what are the hot topics of the day. And then I still like to watch the evening news.
Sure.
If I had to pick a news source that I like CNN and I like NPR.
NPR?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about it.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a challenge. You're gonna look up NPR, okay? Because I like to see multiple sides to an issue.
Yeah. NPR, okay. I'll write that down.
Okay.
Should major issues like education or healthcare be handled primarily by the federal government to ensure equality, or by the states to allow for local preference?
Ooh, okay. Read the first part again.
Should major issues like education or healthcare be handled primarily by the federal government to ensure equality, or by the state governments to allow for local preference?
I think we need funding from the federal government. However, I think at the state level, you would get the immediate needs of constituents and the people. So if it's in the state's hands, they know exactly what policies, what money may be needed locally. You know, Maryland versus California could have different needs. And so if it's at the state level, I think you'll get a better response to the people and protecting the people if the state controls it.
That's all our questions. Thank you for your time.
I
Yeah, thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. I felt very comfortable.
Okay, it's Janaya Downing behind the camera. Can you state your name?
Hi, Janai. I'm Janae Williams.
Okay. How has your environment affected your political ideology?
Well, my political ideology remains the same for me. I have certain beliefs in what I want to do, how I want things to work in my environment. My environment, which means like my job and church and things of that nature, I'm usually around people who might have similar thoughts patterns like myself, but there are some who don't. I respect their decisions and I allow them to share them, but I don't let them influence what I do and how I act.
Okay. Can you think of a situation where you felt the government overstepped its bounds in regulating daily life, or where it failed to step in and protect people?
Absolutely. Especially as a black female, as a woman who has children, I believe they have definitely overstepped when it comes to women's rights and how they are deciding what women should do with their bodies, putting certain laws and bans in place where women cannot go certain places to receive the health care that they want. I think they've definitely overstepped their bounds because they don't have women in those positions to help them. It's a lot of men making these decisions.
Is it more important for the government to protect individual rights or equality?
Well, that's a sticky situation for me. I believe the people should come together. We live in a democracy. And for me, democracy means that the people have their voices heard on ideas. Again, being black and American and living in this country, equality would be great. But reality is that most people would not allow it to be. We all should have free range in doing what we like without being judged. But the difficulty is that people want to have superiority. Can't say the word. Thank you. It's late. Superiority. And they want to be a hierarchy and levels and not equal playing fields. It'd be nice if we were equal. We could choose what we want to do. But realistically, it's not here.
Where do you primarily get your news, and how do you decide which sources are trustworthy?
So I'm definitely a researcher at heart. Right now, society, back in the day, I would get it from the newspaper. I often get it from my phone now because it's very convenient, it's handy. I don't just go to random sites. I usually go to a news site, and then I kind of streamline what they're saying and look behind what they're talking about and get more information. But online is where I usually go.
Okay, last question. Should major issues like education or healthcare be handled primarily by the federal government or the state government to allow for local preferences?
I think it should be heard as a whole, based on the community, and then maybe larger issues can go up the chain of command. But locally, it would be nice for the states to look at what's needed and then overall have a government ruling, but it shouldn't just be what we have here, leading to totalitarianism or a dictatorship. It really needs to be looked at as a whole, what is needed for the country.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Janaya.
My name is Akaya.
My name's Brittany.
Okay, and the first question is, how has your environment affected your political ideology?
My environment shaped my political views through family, working, and seeing the challenges that people in my community face every day. My experience as a parent have especially influenced what issues matter most to me.
Okay, next question is, can you think of a situation where you felt the government overstepped its bounds in regulating daily life, or where it failed to step in to protect people?
For my personal experience, I felt like when COVID-19 happened, the restrictions felt a little controlling. Even as me being involved, working in healthcare, it was a little stressful. It was a little strict. It was boundaries were definitely crossed. But on the other hand, there are also situations where I felt the government should have protected us citizens more and provided support, which they didn't do.
Okay. Is it more important for the government to protect individual rights or equality?
I believe protecting individual rights is important for families and freedom, and for everyone to make their choices for themselves.
Where do you primarily get your news, and how do you decide which sources are trustworthy?
Honestly, I just based it on my personal opinion. I look on social media, on the news, and things like that.
Should major issues like education or healthcare be handled primarily by by the federal government or by state government to allow for local preferences?
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. I think they should both equally help each other in the situations as far as like education, healthcare, and things like that. I just think it should be both.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.